Hello, good afternoon, happy Friday. We've made it to Friday, woohoo! It's great if you've just watched the live and you've joined us. Hope you had fun playing the games, and if you missed the live, that's okay. This is some more activities and I'll explain a little bit about what we did in the live video today. So today we looked at the theme of truth. So I had Ella on with me on the live and we looked at truth and we looked at a story which we'll look at a little bit later in case you missed it. But we did 2 truths and a lie, and then I had some other facts and truths about other people that work at St Stephen's. But my 2 truths and a lie I'm going to tell you now. So if you've already done this, you can skip past it, but if you've missed the game, I thought I would tell you mine and then you can have a little guess at home. So my 2 truths and a lie. So obviously I won't tell you until the end which one is the lie. So my first one is, I am scared of spiders. My second one is, my parents have 2 dogs and a cat at home. And my third one is, my favourite colour is pink. Have a little think about that. Which one of those facts do you think is not true? Give you a few seconds to think about it. Oh, have you guessed? For me, the fact that isn't true, the lie, is I'm not actually scared of spiders. The thing I'm scared of is snakes. So maybe you could play that at home. Maybe you could play that with some of your friends through Zoom or FaceTime or something, and you could just have a bit of fun. We looked at the story of Zacchaeus, and if you've heard this story lots and lots of times, that's great. But the thing about Zacchaeus is Zacchaeus wasn't very good at first at telling the truth, and he didn't have many friends because he cheated them out of money and he lied about different things and he kept some of the money for himself, and that made the people around him very, very cross because the truth is so important. So like we played a little game about truth and we told you some facts that were true and some that weren't, but the truth is so important. And in this story I'm going to reread it, so if you have already watched it and listened to the story, you can listen again or you can just skip past it because there's some more activities at the end. So have permission from the Harper Christian Collins Foundation. So this story is called The Man Who Didn't Have Any Friends. Let's have a look to see what happens to Zacchaeus. There once was a man who didn't have any friends. None. Do you have any friends? Well, of course you do, but not Zacchaeus. Poor Zacchaeus didn't have any. You're probably wondering why. Was it because he was so short? That's not a reason not to like someone. Wait, was it because he had that name that was hard to say? Well, not that either. Even though he was short and he did have a funny name, that wasn't it. No, people didn't like Zacchaeus because he stole their money. Zacchaeus collected taxes. Taxes were what people had to pay to the king. But Zacchaeus took more than he was supposed to and kept the extra money for himself and made himself rich. Everyone knew what he was up to, and that made them cross and grumpy. They didn't like Zacchaeus one bit. So they made sure he knew it by doing things like avoiding him and walking on the opposite side of the street and pretending not to see him, whispering things like, "There's that nobody who thinks he's a somebody," so loud that he could hear. Anyway, one day, a huge crowd gathered by the road. Jesus was coming to their town and everyone wanted to see him. Zacchaeus wanted to see Jesus too, but everyone was too tall. He tried jumping up and down, but that didn't work. He couldn't see a thing. Luckily, Zacchaeus had a good idea. "I'll climb that sycamore tree," he said. So he did. Surprisingly, he was good at climbing for a man who's unusually short. He had to take a flying leap just to get his chair in the morning. From the tree, Zacchaeus had a perfect view all the way down the road. Another minute and suddenly Jesus was at the tree. He stopped and looked up. Zacchaeus saw Jesus and Jesus saw Zacchaeus. "Zacchaeus," Jesus said, "I'd like to come to your house." Zacchaeus almost fell out the tree. Come to his house? Nobody ever wanted to come anywhere near his house, let alone inside. The people saw this, and needless to say, it made them even crosser and grumpier than usual. They mumbled and murmured and muttered, "Why is Jesus being so kind to that big sinner? Doesn't Jesus know about him?" Zacchaeus scrambled down and took Jesus to his house. He was in a big hurry because he didn't want Jesus to change his mind. Perhaps Jesus hadn't heard about him. Perhaps Jesus didn't know about how he'd been stealing and that no one had liked him and how he didn't have any friends. But Jesus knew all about Zacchaeus and stealing and everything, but he still loved him. Zacchaeus was ashamed. "Lord," he said, turning pale, "what I've done is wrong, but now I want to do the right thing. I want to give the money back to everyone, 4 times what I stole." And that's just what he did. Jesus smiled. "My friend," he said, "today God rescued you." Jesus loved Zacchaeus when nobody else did. He was Zacchaeus' friend even when no one else was, because Jesus was showing people what God's love was like. His wonderful, never stopping, never giving up, unbreaking, always and forever love. I love that story because Zacchaeus in the end told the truth. He realised what he did was wrong. And you know, sometimes we can make mistakes and sometimes we don't tell the truth, but the truth is so important and it can set you free. Also in that story, Jesus came to his house for dinner. It got me thinking, what would I feed Jesus if Jesus came to my house? And I want to ask you the question, if Jesus was coming to your house for dinner, what food would you give him? What's your favourite food? Would you share that with him? I think that's an interesting kind of story, isn't it? Because imagine if you were up a tree and Jesus came and said to you, "I'm coming to your house." It'd nearly make me fall out of the tree too. So thinking about trees, I thought that maybe after this video you could do a craft activity to help you remember a bit of the story. So I made a tree. Might not be a very good tree, but I made this out of a paper plate. So if you have some paper plates at home, go and grab them after this video, and then you can either, if you're very good at drawing, or maybe get a grown-up to help you, draw around a template of a tree and then cut it out, and you could decorate it with lots of different things. And we would love to see your photos of the trees or other things that you've made relating to this story, because it just makes us so happy when we see those things. And it can help us remember that Zacchaeus climbed up the tree, and then after that experience in the tree, his life changed because Jesus came to his house and Jesus told him that he could be forgiven, and you can be forgiven if you have made mistakes, and that is amazing. Just before I go, I'm just going to pray, and maybe you want to pray now or a bit later, but there's a thing called the teaspoon prayer, which is thank you, sorry, please. So maybe for a moment, and we've done this before, we do it sometimes at kids' church, but maybe you just want to say thank you to God for something. Thank you that I had a good week. Thank you for my family. Thank you for my friends. Just for that moment, take 10 seconds and say, you can either say it out loud or you can say it in your heart. Say thank you to God. That's great. And the next is saying sorry. So maybe you've made a mistake this week and you need to say sorry to God, or maybe you need to say sorry to other people. So you can say, sorry God that I told that lie, or sorry God, whatever mistake you've made, just say sorry to God. And next, please. So what do you want to ask God for? God, please help me to be loving to my family. Please help me tell the truth. It's a great way to just break up prayer, and we can say thank you, sorry and please. And it's great to be thankful and sorry and ask God to help us in all that we do. So hopefully you have enjoyed this video, and I will see you not next week, but because it's a bank holiday Friday, but the Friday after for more fun. Make sure you check out the social media pages to keep up to date with all that is happening. See you later.